The U.S. is building a chain of military bases in the Pacific to choke China's advances in the region. As the U.S.-China rivalry gradually takes shape of a great power competition in the Indo-Pacific, the United States of America seems to be unapologetically showing its military muscle in the Pacific Islands. The Pacific Islands region, stretching from Easter Island in the east to Hawaii in the north to New Caledonia and Palau in the west to Tonga in the south, is a vast maritime zone falling directly between the U.S. and China. As such, Pacific Islands would become extremely crucial in case of military skirmishes between the free world and China. The U.S. is now creating huge geostrategic leverage over China by militarizing small islands scattered across this region. In fact, the U.S. has made several strategic maneuvers in the Pacific Islands in recent months, even as the U.S.-China tensions have escalated dramatically. As per the latest report, the U.S. military is looking to develop a divert airfield on the Northern Marianas island of Tinian. The divert airfield on Tinian will serve as a substitute to U.S. Air Force's heavy-duty Anderson base in Guam if the latter becomes inaccessible. Tinian is just 196 kilometers away from Guam, and therefore the new project would make a lot of sense in the eventuality of an enemy attack on the U.S. military installments in Guam. And then, this is just the tip of the iceberg. The U.S. has a number of other plans to bolster its military firepower in the Pacific Islands region. Take, for instance, Malaya, the most populous island in the Solomon Islands. While the Solomon Islands has severed its ties with longtime ally Taiwan and established diplomatic ties with China instead, Malaya has shown willingness to remain close to Taiwan and rest of the free world. In fact, Malaya has also been discussing plans with Washington and its allies for the development of a deep-sea port to counterbalance Beijing's development plans for Solomon's largest island of Guadalcanal. The U.S. can build military presence in Malaya, if and when the paper dragon tries to make any bold maneuvers in the Solomon Islands. As the U.S.-China rivalry takes the shape of a full-fledged Cold War, Washington is pushing for the full militarization of the Pacific Islands region. Before the paper dragon would know, the U.S. Air Force and the U.S. Navy would be dominating the highly strategic region, much to Beijing's chagrin.